Calix asked, "Where is his sister?" The maid replied, "She is in her home." Calix asked, "How is his sister doing?" The doctor replied, "Her fever has come down, and she seems better, but he think." Calix asked, "Is there something wrong with her?" Calix entered the room and asked, "Sister, is she okay?" Rosalind replied, My body is okay, but we're uncomfortable." Rosalind was the only one discovered without a body. A few weeks earlier, there was a decision to host a hunting competition, due to an unusual number of wild animals and monsters that kept multiplying. On the 5th day of the hunting competition, an incident occurred. The Empire of Labinia and its great neighboring kingdom Balta, with Balta as its base, and an assassin squad ambushed the gathered power of the empire. The battle was finished in the morning. The poison left by the assassin squad could not even be purified with holy powers, and left countless injuries and deaths. Soon, they realized the White Knight chivalric order was missing, their lieutenant from the list of names and nowhere to be found. They looked for her everywhere, but they didn't find her for days. Finally, a research party found her below a cliff deep in the forest. The day they discovered the seriously injured Rosalind was 6 whole days after the battle. In the present time, Calix thought his sister does not recall who she is. However, when she saw the family crest in her room, she stated it was the red wheelbarrow. The doctor told him it seems she is suffering from temporary memory loss, but there is a high probability her memory will be recovered. Calix asked if her sister had eaten anything yet, and the maid replied she had her meal during lunch. Clearing 3 plates worth of food, Calix told them to bring his dinner to her room. After some time, Calix thought the doctor told him they heard. She hit her head quite hard when she fell off the cliff. If her body is weak, it is possible she may lose her ability to speak memories, similar to how the elderly may develop Alzheimer's disease. Calix thought, how could his sister have Alzheimer's? Calix thought, did she always enjoy eating meat like this? Calix stated, please eat slowly. What if her stomach gets upset? Then he thought, Rosalind used to say that to him. He never thought that he would return the favor. Suddenly, Rosalind tried to lick her hand. Calix grabbed her hand. Then he stated, please, not yet, he don't think he is ready for that. After that, Calix told her he is her brother. He has not been able to visit her often because she was busy with the chivalric order. Suddenly, Calix saw her drink wine. He shouted, sister, he asked, is she okay? Can she breathe properly? Does she feel any swelling? She used to get hives all over her body. Calix saw in her mouth and thought, looks like nothing is wrong with it. He does recall learning of cases where allergies got better with age. Calix thought, she has not even touched the avocado salad that she used to love, and she managed to clean the plate with wine sauce. In the next scene, a maid told him the Countess has requested to have lunch with him, and she requested for the lady too. After some time, Calix thought, she is sitting there again. Then he thought, the maids are chatting with each other, and Rosalind is revising their words. Calix was shocked and thought, in the past, Rosalind told him the smallest details, even if they seemed unimportant. He must still keep a close eye on them and prevent them from slipping by. It's up to him to glean the truth from those who surround themselves with words. Calix thought, she may look identical on the outside, but if the person inside has completely changed, can he still call her his sister? Calix stated, Mother has returned. Let's all go have lunch together. Rosalind replied, let's go together. Calix thought, she actually said, let's go together. She uses what she is taught right away. After some time, Calix asked, what about when Mother talks to her? Rosalind told him. She reply with either yes or no. Calix asked, what about when it's time to eat? Rosalind replied, she need to use a knife and fork. After that, their mother came, and the Countess stated, oh my goodness, Rosalind, her complexion is so bad, she heard that she were missing. Rosalind replied, yes. The Countess stated, her face has become so skinny. She told her to quit the order immediately. Rosalind replied, no. Calix thought, she used both answers as soon as she met Mother. The timing of her answering is good, teaching her was worthwhile. After some time, Rosalind's bread fell onto the ground. She grabbed it and started eating it. Both of them were shocked. The Countess asked, "What is happening?" Calix told her the whole story. The Countess said, "Although Rosalind is not a beauty, she was comforted because she was an intelligent child, but now, what happened to her?" Then the scene changed and Alter told him, "This is the information," he asked him to gather. When Calix gave him the order, he was curious why such a mature man was suddenly interested in something like this. But after investigating, he came to know that Calix was not trying to screw him over. Calix replied, "No way, seriously, it's still just a suspicion. Don't jump to conclusions." At night, Calix thought, "If you go deep into the forest, your shadows will be devoured. The forest shadow moves when no one is looking. Deep within the forest, there is a shadow that mimics a human. The forest shadow can speak." Suddenly, Calix heard some noise. Calix thought, "Is it a spy?" There are no documents in the study that are particularly worth taking. Calix shouted, "Who is here?" while entering the room. Rosalind was standing there. Then Calix saw there is a spy. He is dead with his twisted neck. She perfectly twisted his neck when he was carrying a weapon. Is that possible with the strength of a human? What if it was not a human? Calix pushed her to the floor. Calix stated, "She thinks he won't be able to slash his own family. Tell him or he will decapitate her. What's her goal in coming here?" Rosalind spoke, "She is a shadow. She is the shadow of Rosalind." Rosalind, tell him there is a very tall mountain, existing in an ancient forest. No human had stepped foot in it. It takes the form of a bird sometimes, occasionally a bug as well, and also a large beast with aggressive behavior. The greatest reason why this is not designated as a demonic beast, despite being made up of demonic energy, is because it always hides and does not appear. That's why it can't be called a demonic beast. It only eats dead organisms and does not hunt at all. That's one of the reasons it had to starve for a long time. After a long time, a human fell off a cliff. The only time that reverts to its original form is when it eats. That human will die soon. Suddenly, Rosalind grabbed it. Then she spoke, "Help her. She don't care who it is. She don't even care if they are a demon." The monster stated, "A lot of blood drained. She can't be saved." Rosalind stated, "It's okay to eat her. In return, please fulfill a request of her." The monster asked, "What do she mean?" Rosalind told the monster something, and then the contract of taboo was formed. Now, in the present time, she is here to protect something. She is here to protect that person. Calix asked, "Who is it?" Rosalind replied, "The Master of the White Night." Calix thought, that name had to appear now of all times, the name his sister wanted to protect despite opposing their father. "The night air is cold," Calix stated. "Please take care of herself as she returned to her room, sister." After 2 weeks, since Rosalind is now able to use fork and knife properly, and no longer picks up food that has been dropped on the floor to eat, she is very quick at learning languages. Calix thought, if that's what his sister wants, then he will follow her will. After some time, a maid told Calix that Sir Romand is here, and says he wishes to meet with the young miss. Calix shouted, "What?" Then he thought, news of her losing memories has not been announced publicly yet. Calix went there and asked his sister what on earth she is doing. Rosalind stated, "How dare he touch her? Does he have a death wish?" Calix asked, "What do she mean? Touch, what is going on here?" Then Raymond got down. After some time, Calix asked, "There is a big bruise on Sir Raymond's chest. What's going on?" Rosalind replied, "That one, he is a really bad one." Calix asked the maid, "What happened?" The maid replied, "It seems that Sir Raymond was so happy to see the young lady that he hugged her, and he didn't do anything inappropriate like touching." She apologized that in the morning they told the lady that if someone she doesn't know tries to touch her, be sure to tell them immediately. If that person is a really, really bad person, just beat them up. After some time, Rosalind repeatedly said she would not beat up other people. Calix told her to repeat it again. After that, he told her the person she beat up is the successor of the huge horned goat family. If someone approaches her with a weapon or with bloodlust, she can go ahead and beat them up, but please avoid doing so to others. Then the scene changed and Raymond woke up. Rosalind stated she is the one that made a look like this. Rosalind again apologized. Raymond thought, a quick apology. That's good to see. It's good, but that's not tissue. Then he was shocked. Raymond asked Calix, what is going on? Calix replied, yes, about her condition, she is not herself at the moment. Then after some time, Raymond stated, as expected, Black Moon, it's a demonic cult outside their land. Those cultists believe in the god of darkness and chaos. Kreen Tidanian is the true god, and that the god of light and order, the second prince, has always possessed a great amount of holy power, which caused him to draw a lot of attention from the Black Moon. She recently got promoted to an advanced knight. She is finally in this squadron protecting the second prince. Calix stated, wait, Sir Raymond, he doesn't think that's the issue. In the next scene, Raymond stated he can assess. He told her to try drawing her sword. Rosalind drew her sword. Raymond told her, it's cute, but Rosalind did not draw her sword like that. In her current state, she can't even wield a sword. What will she do once she returns to the ranks? Rosalind stated she needs to go to protect the leader of the White Knight. Raymond replied, even if she lost her memories, she still remembers the most important fact. All right, from here on out, carefully observe his every move and remember them, if she wants to protect the leader of the White Knight. Then at night, Calix asked if Raymond seemed tired. Raymond replied, after all the moves he taught her, there is one sentence she repeats, one more time, and that goes on till night. Even after that, he had to repeat my moves hundreds of times. There is an ordination in 2 weeks. Could he please try to fix her manners of speaking somehow? Those who are considered advanced knights will be ordained by the second prince himself. At that time, he will proclaim that Rosalind will now be announced as an advanced knight. Then they both thought. Rosalind replied, yes. Okay. Shouldn't they prevent something like this from happening? After that, Rosalind is doing all the moves at night that she learned from Raymond. After a week at the royal palace, Rosalind stated, it's been a while, Sir Raymond. Have you been faring well? Raymond thought he could feel someone's enormous efforts, then told her she could treat him informally. So why doesn't she go change first? Then he stated, wait until he leave to change. After that, Raymond stated, Rosalind's memories are a bit problematic. Apparently, it's a case of memory loss. Despite all that, she was able to recall the vows. The captain asked, how is she feeling? Rosalind replied, she is well, thank you. After some time, Rosalind thought, these people, hostile glances, the White Knight chivalric order does not like her, since she is the eldest daughter from the family of Red Wheelbarrow, who is sworn to protect the first prince. It's unfortunate what happened to Rosalind, but she has no doubt Rosalind will adapt well. She has great willpower, the black-haired human, she might have been a good human. Then, at the White Knight ordination altar, knights mumbled, she was not present during the memorial ceremony, and now she is announced to be promoted to an advanced knight. Maybe she used her influence. Rosalind thought that's how they normally are. Suddenly, Rosalind was shocked and thought, that man is the only prince with silver hair in the current royal family, Labina's second prince, Ricardi's. Then both of them looked at each other. Rosalind thought, what is this, poison? No, poison doesn't work on her. Why is this happening exactly? Rosalind remembered Calix telling her about the second prince's birth mother, Queen Milia, who was born to a Viscount family, and her mother was actually a commoner. That is why many people find fault with the second prince's background. Despite that, they are unable to say anything in front of the prince. The biggest reason is his holy powers and also his looks. Rosalind thought, is that the reason? Her heart is racing because she was surprised by the prince's appearance. Then my oath will start. After the oath, Raymond stated, he would fully expect there to be a ton of paperwork. He did think there would be an overwhelming workload for him as the vice captain, but he needed to do both of them. Raymond stated, the training ground should be empty right now. She could go and practice her swordsmanship over there. In the next scene, Rosalind started her practice, and then knights came. One of them congratulated her for being promoted. Then he thought, for a typical nerd, who compensates for her lack of swordsmanship skills with her brains. How arrogant to get that promotion to an advanced rank knight before him. Knight stated, "Please give him some pointers." Then he thought, if the captain sees an advanced rank knight lose to a basic rank knight, she is sure to reconsider her promotion. Rosalind thought, what should she do? Then she remembered Calix telling her, there are some idiots who will find fault with her lacking swordsmanship. Whatever kind of fight it is, let them have it. Rosalind replied, okay, so this is a competition of swordsmanship and hand-to-hand combat. The knight thought, he will end this quickly, but in the next moment, he thought his sword flew away. Rosalind stated, thanks for the match. The knight thought, how dare she act so cocky? Then he stated, he would like to spar for a while longer. Rosalind replied, okay, then threw away her sword. The knight thought, is she an idiot? We are in different weight classes. There is also a difference in gender, but why is he so nervous? Suddenly, Rosalind came and punched him, and he was on the ground. Rosalind stated, shall we continue? The knight replied, wait a minute, but could not complete his sentence. Rosalind punched him at the face. After some time, Raymond asked, is something happened? Vice Captain Nathan stated, he is deploying Rosalind as the second prince's guard. Then Raymond was on the way to the captain's office. The training hall seemed to be noisy, so he went to take a look. Suddenly, Rosalind was holding the knight in her arms. Raymond asked, how did this happen? Rosalind replied, they had a match. They are on their way to the infirmary. One of the knights stated, they agreed to spar until one of them surrendered. But Sir Nestor passed out, so he could not say surrender. Raymond thought, guard duty is perfect for her, and then told her she can't hit anyone after they pass out. The current emperor and empress of the royal family are distantly related by blood. They have the first prince, Prince Elpidio, having a high ranking as the eldest son. The prince was practically the crown prince. However, the year he turned 11, the emperor brought in someone new, and things changed. She had a lowly background and came from the countryside. She was born in poverty, and her only good qualities were her pretty face and beautiful hair color. The issue was with the two children she brought with her into the palace. They were the emperor's children, illegitimate children he fathered when he went out to inspect the borders. The boy officially became a member of the royal family and received a new name. He became the second prince. As it became known that his strength surpassed that of the first prince, he was put forth to become a candidate for the position of crown prince. Since then, there has been no rest for the royal family, because there were no candidates for crown prince. There were already constant assassination attempts, and when his younger sister died after being swept into the fight, the second prince entered the competition for the position of crown prince in earnest. The first prince used the hunting competition to attempt another assassination, even joining hands with Ilabina's old enemy, Balta. The second prince stated his men should not die a meaningless death. He thought he had not led a comfortable life, but that night was stuck with him. The captain stated that he would like to assign Rosalind as one of his guards, and would like to seek his opinion. The prince thought of Rosalind from the family that protects the first prince. The captain stated there are 12 pages of recommendations piled up from the new vice captain. As he sees, apart from the family she is from, Rosalind is a good knight. The prince thought it seems that she is quite something, to be noticed by this honest captain. The prince stated, in short, he said that she is qualified. Maybe she will become an informant, who can get information from Elpidio. Let's give it a go. On the other hand, Raymond asked, what is she doing? Rosalind replied, getting ready to visit the sick. Raymond asked, visit the sick, do she mean Nestor? It is a very good thing that she has the heart to visit the injured person. Rosalind replied, she read in the book that when visiting sick people, there must be gifts or flowers. Raymond told her she should not give someone the ring. It means, let's get married. Rosalind replied, she hates getting married. In the next scene, a knight replied, thanks for the gift. Rosalind asked if his body was okay. The knight replied, thanks to her consultation, he is much better. Rosalind replied, she is not worried about him. Raymond thought he should taught her how to greet and communicate. Rosalind stated, She is worried about him, so get well soon. After some time, Raymond told her about apprentice nights, so she has to choose. Rosalind started looking at all of them. She stated, she, and the one there, pointing to the boy named Eberhard, 4th-year apprentice night, and the girl named Letcha, 3rd-year apprentice night. Then the scene changed. Rosalind introduced herself, swearing to protect him perfectly with her life. The prince replied. He said he doesn't need her life, right, Rose? Rosalind thought about Rose, then remembered Calix telling her that's what his mother called her. It's her sister's nickname. Actually, she was annoyed to be called like that. She thought he called her that on purpose because he knows she hates it. The prince asked if there was something wrong with her memory. He heard it from the Night of Stars. Rosalind replied, that's right. The prince thought she answered indifferently and didn't focus on the conversation. The prince stated, he looks forward to her performance later, night, Rose. The prince thought that he doesn't even care, because surely soon they won't need to see each other anymore. Suddenly, Rosalind grabbed the prince's wrist, and he asked, what is she doing? Rosalind replied, don't drink it. Looks like there is something added to it. The prince looked at the maid. The maid stated, she doesn't know anything. She even drank it before giving it to His Highness. Besides, everyone knows that poison does not work on His Highness, Rosalind stated. She means if poison worked on His Highness, she would do that. The prince stated, that's not wrong. If that's not the case, she created a kind of poison that works on him regardless of his power, Rosalind stated. That's possible. Arrest her first, then see how else she makes excuses. Suddenly, the maid pulled out her knife and threw it at the prince, stating, go die. Prince. Rosalind defended the prince. The prince thought, so fast. Looks like her skills are better than he thought. The maid threw the tea trolley at her, and when Rosalind defended herself from the tea trolley, the maid tried to attack the prince. The knife was too close to his eyes. Then the prince looked at Rosalind. She hit the maid with her knee, then grabbed her, and started hitting punches at her face. One of the knights told her to please stop, as she will die at this rate. Rosalind replied, she has not died. The prince stated to spare her life. They have to investigate the force behind her. Rosalind replied, she got it. After some time the prince asked how she found out who the assassin was. Rosalind replied that at that moment, she smelled the blood. Besides, she pretended to drink it, but actually she didn't. The prince stated that her eyes and nose are sharp, and she did a great job. To be honest, she is much better than expected. Another thing he wondered about was what was added to the tea. Suddenly, Rosalind took the cup from the prince, and put her hand over his mouth. Isirian asked her to give him the cup so he could check it. The prince stated not to give it to Isirian. If she gently puts down the cup, he will forgive her for her rudeness of jumping on his tea table. Rosalind looked at the teacup and thought, magic power. That's similar to the one she felt from the monsters. Calix told her these weapons were found after the hunting competition. Rosalind stated it looks like it's the same with the poison used in the hunting competition. The prince asked how she knew that. Rosalind remembered Calix telling her that if they want to know how she knew that, tell them in one word. Rosalind replied, because magic power and divine power are incompatible. Prince thought, that's right. If it's true, it's unbelievable. It's a poison that divine power can't treat and even interfere with. The second prince's divine power can save dying people's lives. What if they created a poison that can kill the second? If that's the case, the second prince's authority will quickly go down the hill, and that's what the first prince wants. He has to meet that witch. On the other hand, the witch stated it's not very far, the day she can see the ruin of the hateful empire. On the other hand, Rosalind stated, let her see the skills. Both of them were thinking about the incident and thought. Rosalind blew away the 5 knives thrown by the assassin. Even if 8 assassins attacked, here at the same time, they eventually got beaten up. Rosalind asked, what are they, some baby deers? They are not even as good as a baby deer. Rosalind stated that's enough for her to understand. Both of them asked what they are not good at. Rosalind replied, everything. She will attack both of them anytime, from early morning to when the guys go to sleep. If they want to live, don't ever lose their alert even just for a minute. Then the scene changed. The witch asked if that's the dog of Idelabim. He came here for what? Let her pat him on the head. Baby boy. He got bullied by his brother again, so he ran away here to cry with her. The prince gave her a bottle and then told her, this is his gift for her. After some time she started laughing. The prince thought it looks like she knows about this poison. She is like a witch having magic powers. She can sense the magic power even if it's just a little. The witch stated, the light of Idelbim has begun to fade away. Once this has appeared, they have no more chance to win. Yes, this is the work of the great Kreen Tidanian. He keeps trying hard but can't get it back in this era. The prince thought about what she just said. After some time, the prince thought about the black moon, the white moon. That's a legend from a long time ago. Suddenly, the prince was shocked to see why Rosalind is there. Prince asked seriously, what is she doing here? Rosalind replied that